it feels like you're performing in a space that has such a rich legacy, and it feels very special. I mean, the travel's worth it, mostly.
Welcome to This Week at the NCPA. Theatre and Sublime Theatre at that. Love and Information is back at the Experimental Theatre. Tickets are live now as we speak at Book My Show, as well as at the venue at National Centre of Performing Arts. 2nd to the 4th is the run. Now the 2nd has only one showing, 7:30 p.m. The 3rd and the 4th have two showings each, 3:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. So 3:30 and 7:30 on the 3rd and 4th, and 7:30 on the 2nd. It's 18 plus, so do not bring your children if they are under 18. And if you're listening to this and you're under 18, I'm sorry, you'll have to wait, but not this one. And very pleased to welcome the whiz of modern theatre, which is Mohit Takalkar, and along with him, one of his actors in Love and Information, which is Prajesh. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Very good and very excited to talk to you. Thank you.
Lovely. Lovely. So I'm going to actually start with you, Prajesh. Mohit
Okay.
has been on a couple of times since this is your debut appearance on the show. It's not easy to do something like this. It's not linear. It doesn't progress from A to B or B to C. There are radical jumps. You're a writer yourself. You've done a fair bit of writing. What do you appreciate about the text as an actor, is my question to you.
I think what I really appreciate about the text, which is also a challenge in the text, is that it is so open to possibility of exploration, playing. I mean, she has given us so much that we can play with. And at the same time, I think it's a great exercise for actors to explore. The text, to make sense of the text, also requires a couple of readings. I remember the first time we read it, I said it's really, I told Mohit that it's very interesting, but I don't really know what she's trying to do with it. And then there were times when in the rehearsal room, once we started playing the scenes, trying to understand the text, it made certain things made sense, certain things we are still exploring. But I think the text in its essence is full of a lot of possibility and exploration, and which is a challenge and at the same time really fun to do.
You know, Mohit, I credit you because of the way you spoke about Carol Churchill, and that is the she that Prajesh is referring to. All of you are watching or listening. Carol Churchill is the playwright for Love and Information. You spoke so vibrantly about her that I went back and did some further reading, and I kicked myself and I said, my God, why didn't I know this? I had no clue that she actually wrote Love and Information at age 75.
Yes.
That's years and years and decades of being a playwright, and then she arrives at Love and Information. Now, because you're so familiar with her work and you've read other texts from Carol Churchill, what is it at age 75 she has achieved that perhaps she could not have achieved in her earlier texts?
No, I think like Carol has always been like the most fascinating writers that we have around, and everything that she has written has always been a challenge for the readers as well as for the makers. And sometimes, Rishi, what happens is that in your prime and when you're just exploring the craft, I think you use everything that you have, like, as you're honing your craft. And sometimes there are also, tricks and treats and, so that all she has done. But Love and Information coming at age 75, and perhaps, if I may say, a most accessible play is what I feel. But this whole, the wisdom that the age grants you, the way you're living, and the craft that you're nurturing for such a long time, and then you arrive at something which seemingly is very simple, accessible, but is profound and not in the face. So she makes really a large point, but that's subtly. And for a writer or any person at this age, to identify with what's going around, to acknowledge it, and to respond to that, I think only a master can do. because most people think about retiring by that time, or they keep on repeating their earlier work. And here is someone who just comes like with a fresh, brand new, and pulsating, potent text. And also a writer who can, at this age and this stature, say that yeah, this is what I have written, and now i uh, I invite all you makers to come and play with it and find deeper meanings about life and also about theater. And that's something that she has achieved, which is extraordinary.
Prajesh, now let's just move from your writer to your director.
Mhm.
Now everybody knows that it's been a while, a decade and a half since Mohit Takalkar left the traditional route behind. There are the style of theatre is radically different, which is why a lot of people view him as the present, the future of theatre. Without using extravagant words, just if you could zero down on working with him and his process, which is so different from a traditional route, how much is it added to you as an actor?
I think I think the core of it is really love, is how I would put it. I think my experience with Mohit, and this is the first time I'm working with him, has been he just gives you so much freedom and allows you to, like, he really puts you into the center of things and then guides you in ways which is just so special. Because, and this is also one of the things I remember telling him eventually once, I mean, we were done with the play and we were opening the play, and I told him, I said, I felt so free in this room to be vulnerable, to be playful, to try new things. And he's very encouraging. I mean, and we never really stop. Like, we rehearse, and then when we go back home, we are still always talking and sharing things, because he is very open like that. And I think that's very rare, because sometimes you have directors who are very fixed in their ways of what they want and how they want it. But here you have someone who just allows so much, like, there's so much room for new ideas, new perspectives, to be really silly. And that's so freeing as an actor, to be in a room and just be silly. And there is a lot of love at the core of it. So I think that has been really, really amazing.
Do you respect, Mohit, what the playwright is trying to achieve, what the playwright is trying to say, what the playwright is leading up to? Or do you look at a text and say, whatever the playwright is leading up to, whatever the point the playwright has, it doesn't matter, I am going to do it my way? How important is the focus or the motive of the playwright? In this case, it's Carol, but even otherwise, I'm asking.
No, the focus and the motive are prime. I mean, they are very important for me. But the fact that you have written a text and now you have opened it for the directors and actors to interpret, then there should be that room where we can, I mean, deviate slightly, or find newer things. So that should always be there. But that's the thing, Rishi, that we have these very concrete and stereotypical roles assigned to a playwright. Now, someone's written and then it becomes a Bible, and you can't just touch it and not change a word and not do anything with it. Then I don't find, why should we do the play? I mean, might as well just read it. And similarly, we have roles about the director as well, that, he's the person, or he or she is the person who should know everything, know all the answers to all the questions that are going to be raised in the rehearsal room. That's not the case. The director also and the playwright also might find new things with actors involved, because actors, once you stop thinking of them as talking props, they are there, and they are the most vulnerable in the room. Actually, the director has to sit back, the team has to sit back, but there's a live person who's going to stand in front of you naked, and he's going to explore, he or she, and that takes a lot of courage. So it is a question of mutual respect about the playwright as well, about the actors as well, and I think in the room. And I think that overall, I think we will have to check our the way of working. Overall, I'm saying, not just me, but it has to be a collaborative process. It cannot be that, this is what I've written. Now the director tells you this is what you should do, and the actor just goes and performs. I don't think so. I think we need to be together in the room and explore.
Well said. Prajesh, it's been 2.5 decades and more of me covering theatre as a journalist, as a presenter, simply because I'm a fan of the theatre. And I still feel that there are not enough people who are covering theatre. But that's not my question. My question is very simple. Because I've seen so much of theatre as an audience member, often what happens to actors, because it is an actor's medium in a lot of ways, is when they're given extreme freedom, like they are in this case, where Mohit Takalkar gives you that love and freedom, is sometimes the tendency of making their scene or that particular scene so riveting. Oh God, I have to make this scene stand out. Suddenly they slip because the overall narrative or the messaging goes to, pardon my French, goes to shit. Because the actor suddenly gets carried away by the moment of that particular scene. Is that something you have to guard against, Prajesh? Have you always, is that kept that in your back of your mind, saying this scene must play out the way it is supposed to play out with the larger narrative in mind? Or do you sometimes slip and say, oh my God, I have to make this scene exciting, so let me just perform?
Right. I think in one of the initial runs, I remember we had this, I remember talking to Mohit about this, and we were all having a discussion. It was after a run, and I said, I know what I'm doing in the scenes that I'm doing. Also because we're all playing so many scenes. Like we're in so many scenes, so many characters. So around like 57 odd scenes and more than like 10 different characters. So also like there's also this level of detachment with every scene that you do. You only come on stage once as somebody and then later on. And I remember telling him, I was like, I'm understanding what I'm doing, but I don't know where it's going in this larger sort of a. And I remember at that time Mohit said, he said, when you are in a scene, you just be there in that scene and you give it all you have. And that is true, and which is where I feel like again it's a collaborative process, because as an actor, when I'm in a scene, I have to give it my all. At that time, I think that is where my truth lies, and I trust the director immensely to be that guiding spirit or that guiding force or the Google Maps, as you call it, that eventually it's going to make sense. And eventually it did start making sense. And I also feel like, which is why a play like this is something that people would love to come again and again and watch, because it keeps on making more and more sense. And it always opens up more avenues for understanding what's happening. Also for us as actors, like even this run is really exciting. I really feel like we're starting from ground zero, because there is just like so much more to do and so much more to explore. So I think, to answer your question, for me as an actor, it's very important that if I'm in a particular scene, I give it my all, not to outshine another actor, because I don't think that's how it can ever work. I think it's something we're all working together. Like even like I have to follow my lighting cue, for example. I can't just be it can't just be about me. So we have to listen to each other. Different people are making a scene happen. But I feel like I have to trust myself at that moment and just give what the scene requires of me, and also trust the director to kind of even like that. It's all going to make sense eventually, I think. Yeah.
So, Love and Information is actually 50 scenes divided into 7 sections. So, that's really reimagining theatre. So, all of you who are listening, watching, should come here and watch that. What I also find very fascinating, Mohit, is the emphasis in the play about how information need not necessarily be wisdom. Like if a person knows a lot, he or she could have got it from Google. And that is not necessarily what a wise man or a wise woman is all about. But the play was written in 2012, where I think the internet was still at its early stages. The apps, I think there was only Facebook at the time. And the internet was slowly proliferating. I'm sure you think of this too. It's fascinating that Carol at the time could think of a subject like this, which is going to be so universal even now, 10, 12 years from then.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the visionary that she is, She can see these things, and it's not necessarily. I mean, information. I don't think is only tied down to the internet or the social media as such. I think we have been surrounded by it since ages. Is the question of how much you drown now it has become more relevant, if you can say that. But I think she questions and challenges and prods into the core fundamental human nature. So and then if we are to make sense of today's world, then in fact, yeah, there might be a few references which might seem dated, say maybe 10 years down the line, but still the questions that she raises will remain there, because we as a society have to solve them. It's not the theater maker's job. It's like, she presents you with that mirror. So yeah, we'll have to look for that.
Well said, well said. Now, this is a question I asked another maverick, which is Mac, Makarand Deshpande. I said, Mac, you are accused of sometimes of your plays being too spatial. And, you need to, and sometimes you're accused of not keeping them very practical and realistic so that people can understand. And he made a very interesting comment, which I'm going to ask you whether you agree with it, disagree with it. He said, the problem is a lot of theatre makers dumb down the audience. They think the audience is a little dumb, but the audience actually is not. The theatre audience is a very, very evolved audience. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with
Absolutely.
that? A lot of makers tend to say, "Acha simple रखते हैं, सामने वाले को समझ में आएगा नहीं आएगा." But actually, why don't you think of it the reverse way, saying, "Of course they'll understand."
Yeah. The one thing what I feel is, theater, music, art, ये किसी एक की जायदाद है नहीं. And it's so beautiful, like, if you go to Prithvi, for example, or NCPA, you come to NCPA and in 30 days you can see 30 different plays, and theater can be explored in all possible ways. And there are many people and good theater people, good theater makers who are, creating stuff which is more accessible and people and enjoyable as well. And there are a few who are trying to push the envelope and trying to take it to, trying to push the boundaries. And so all have space. So if they're coming for Mohit's plays, Makarand's plays, and many other like us, they know what they can expect. And theater is something that doesn't happen involuntarily, right? Because you're going to buy a ticket, board a train, or take a cab, dress your best, come there before the third bell. So you know what you're going for, and things can surprise you. Same with music, इतना अलग अलग है. फिल्म म्यूजिक किसने बोला कि वो खराब है? वो भी तो बहुत अच्छा है. हम तो वही सुनते बड़े हुए हैं. But that doesn't mean कि दूसरा म्यूजिक सुनना ही नहीं है. मे बी वो तुम्हारे कुछ चीजें होती है जो which can nourish your soul and your brain, and some might just give you a high, or you can feel elated, and there's nothing wrong in either of them. But I think if you want to grow, then you will also have to nurture that. तो वो काम हम कर रहे हैं.
My last question is to you, Prajesh. I've already asked Mohit this. Your association with the NCPA. I mean, do you have any memorable performances? Of course, the Love and Information, the last batch which went by, is there. But even before that, memories of performing at Tata Theatre, Experimental Theatre, Godrej, Little Theatre, anything you'd like to share with us?
After I graduated from the drama school, I did a play at the XP. It was with Foize Jalali. It was amazing. It's such a beautiful place. It feels like you're performing in a space that has such a rich legacy, and it feels very special. I mean, the travel's worth it, mostly. I feel like, because I come from the suburbs and it's really difficult on most days, but you just enter this environment which is so rich with culture and legacy, and it's just so amazing. Also, the XP as a space, it's just fascinating. You can do whatever you want to. It's like, it's a blank canvas in that sense, and we're doing some really exciting things. So if people come and watch, I think they'll get a glimpse of how the space gets transformed.
Please do. Love and Information, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The 2nd, there's a 7:30 p.m. performance. 3rd and 4th, there are two, 3:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. age limit of 18 plus. The experimental theatre at the NCPA. Tickets are live at Book My Show as well as at the auditorium or the NCPA box office. Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you, Rishi.
Prajesh.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
the best. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Naushad Sahab was very different kind of a person because I know him. I don't know the life of Madan Sahab, but I know the life of Naushad Sahab. Naushad Sahab was one film a year and going for shikar and going for fishing and going for outing.
Welcome to This Week at the NCPA. Fabulous show as part of NCPA HSBC Bandish Day 3. An NCPA presentation supported by HSBC India. It's at the Jamshed Baba Theatre, 4th of August, 6:30 p.m. Tickets are live now at Book My Show as well as at the venue. Please go get them because they will go out very, very fast. For the simple reason that the legendary Uttam Singh ji is going to be on stage. Their compositions of Naushad Ali and Madan Mohan Sahab, which Uttam Singh and the orchestra will be recreating. I'm also pleased to welcome a young, fantastic singer, Hrishikesh Ranade. Uttam ji, how are you? Hrishikesh, how are you?
All well, I'm fine. He's also fine.
Yeah, doing great.
So I want to start with how special this is because you assisted Naushad Sahab for almost 2 decades. Or was it more, sir?
2 decades? No, it's more. I have worked with Naushad Sahab almost 35 years.
Wow.
As
That's
assistant,
almost 4
conductor,
decades.
writing music, conducting music, booking artist. And with Madan Mohanji, I have played violin. Many solos are with him.
What is the most amazing aspect of Naushad Sahab and the most amazing aspect of Madan Mohanji? And I'm not talking about their music. Their stellar quality as human beings.
It's very difficult to differentiate both of them because both of them has been most genius in their field. But Naushad Sahab was very different kind of a person because I know him. I don't know the life of Madan Sahab, but I know the life of Naushad Sahab. Naushad Sahab was one film a year and going for shikar and going for fishing and going for outing. So his life was totally different than Madan Sahab. But
So
Madanji
he had a
personally,
bit of
like
a
I don't know.
royal touch. He had a bit of a royal touch.
Royal touch. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hrishikesh, you come from a well-known family of musicians, of vocalists. You've been trained by great gurus. It must be such an honor to share the stage with Uttam Singh ji, and secondly, to be able to participate in a show that has Naushad Sahab's compositions and Madan Mohan ji's compositions. Talk about how important that is and how these great composers, arrangers, and I mean Uttam Singh ji also along with the other two, have influenced you as a singer, songwriter, musician, vocalist.
Yeah, thanks. Firstly, really, it's a privilege, and it's going to be such a huge experience for me to meet Uttam Singh sir and learn from him and be a part of such a massive concert where he's himself is conducting this entire concert. So basically, he's from among those persons whom जिसे हम मतलब गुरु स्थान पर जिन्हें हम मानते हैं. ऐसे उत्तम सिंह सर हैं. We have been following his music, and to meet him in person is definitely such a huge experience in life for us artists. Definitely, like you asked about Madan ji's songs and Naushad ji's songs, to sing them is itself like preparing, doing riyaz in different aspects of these songs. उन्हें मतलब गाते हुए उन्हें प्रिपेयर करते हुए काफी इतनी सारी चीजें सीखने को मिलती हैं. तो in a way, in today's period, to get to sing such good lyrics, such good music with such a huge team of musicians live is really something. It will be memorable for me, and उत्तम सिंह सर, उनसे जैसा मैंने कहा कि एक artist and as a human being, so many things we have to learn, which will, I think, keep us going. Our generation, that effort which we have to put in continuously, maybe it will help us being on toes in our profession, in our effort.
Lovely. Uttam Singh ji, will you tell us what listeners, audience can expect that wonderful evening on the 4th of August at 6:30 p.m. at Jamshed Baba? You are going to be accompanied by an orchestra. Is it what, 30, 40 instrumentalists? How many people in the orchestra, sir?
Almost about 42, 45.
Wow.
Almost, we all with singers and all that, almost 50 people. So it will be a beautiful. Because I tell you why I have chosen this orchestra. Normally, all these songs, what are songs we are going to play on 4th of August, it's all more over 80 musicians. All the songs. So even still I have a very less musician, all 50 musicians is nothing. Because my first recording as a music actor, Winter Bob, was 120 musicians and 40 chorus. And
Wow.
Lataji and Mahendra Kapoor sang that song. So we come from that era. That era was a huge, everything huge. Lyrics also huge, music also huge, recording also huge, singing also huge, everything was huge. So, but this orchestra is going to sound, I hope it will be very good.
Not hope, sir. It will be very good.
Right.
It'll be so wonderful.
The music is a subject you cannot complete it in one life.
Correct.
Only we can play, we can sing, we can compose, but one life is not enough for the music.
So beautifully said. Wonderfully said. You see, these days what happens is when they sing a duet, the singers don't even meet each other. So, the lady vocalist is sitting in some studio, male vocalist is sitting in his house, he's recording his track, she's recording her track. Then it is sent to an arranger who puts it together. Sometimes there is not even a reference of what line the female is supposed to sing to the male is supposed to sing to the female. It's very different from the orchestras where all of them used to rehearse together. After many rehearsals, go for a take. But the current generation says this is more convenient and this saves a lot of time. How do you react to that? They say, boss, it's a very fast running paced world. There's rain outside, there's a problem, you have to get the job done.
Yes. Now the music is it has become a toy for people. Where music used to be a tapasya. Music used to be, I have practiced 13 and a half hours a day when I started learning. 13 and a half hours a day with my father made a full cue sheet. You have to do this and this. But now music has become toy. Keep keyboard, whatever keyboard gives, take it. Only you should know is sounding good or bad or whatever it is. You have to be a good editor.
Uttam Singh ji, your own career as a arranger, music composer, music director is so illustrious. You've done some beautiful films for Rajshri, for Suraj Barjatia ji. You've done beautiful films for Yash Chopra. Dada Khondke and you had a wonderful relationship, over 12 films. And of course, you mentioned, Painter Babu, there was also Clerk. Early days were also, somebody like a Manoj Kumar. All these directors were so different from each other.
Yeah.
Would you say one of the great aspects of music composition is listening to your director?
See, I found very much intense director Madan ji, Yash ji, Manoj ji. Manoj ji, एक आपने अच्छी चीज गाई. If you sing good place, good murki, he will say, Uttam, this is very good. Don't forget it. And if he likes the music, or tune or whatever it is, immediately he will say, yes, this is okay. Whatever tune, it was composed by Jagdish, Painter Babu. But I have changed so many things at that time, with that period. Then we have worked for 2, 3 films which didn't work. That is okay. Everything cannot be worked all the time. And same way, Yasji has a different ear altogether. Whatever he likes it means okay. That's all. If I like something, no, Papaji, I like that one. That is okay. So every director has a different taste of working, taste of music, taste of songs composed by his director, whoever is.
It's so great that despite living in Mumbai, being somebody who belongs to Punjab, you have worked as an orchestra conductor for the great Ilaiyaraaja Sahab. And not only in the south, you have given performances everywhere, you have done recordings. He's another really genius of a person. I'd like you to comment a little bit on the great Ilaiyaraaja Sahab.
Raja Sahab, how we started, first I played violin solo for him in Bombay. That was, I think, some South movie. Then I conducted for him in Bombay. From there, our association started. Then he called me to Madras to conduct some big orchestra. So I conducted his full background music. Then after that, I mixed his songs, almost about 500 to 600 films. All those songs are mixed by me. I used to be a main recordist, and then my assistant recordist used to give me all the lines and all that. Then I used to make, those days only 8 tracks. So almost I mixed about 500 to 600 films, songs. So sometime mixing night 2 o'clock, sometime mixing morning 5 o'clock. So that period was fantastic because I used to fly, go to Madras, work there and come back here. Then do Maine Pyar Kiya, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun at that time. Then that period was totally music, and best thing was Hrishikesh, the best thing was that all around you is music. Nothing else. Go there, music. Come here, music. Go that studio, music. Play morning for Madanji, come play afternoon for Sri Ramchandra. Then night, jingles. Like that, the whole life has gone in the music. And which music? Which is remaining till today.
Yeah.
That music which is still played by everybody. All singer has to sing those songs. All musician has to play that song. And those songs of those music actors are giving us food. See, that is the, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, ऋषि मुनि एक हो गए, उन्होंने जो लिखा हम आज तक पढ़ रहे हैं, उसकी सेवा कर रहे हैं, पाठ कर रहे हैं. This is also Rishi Munis. All those composers.
Very well put. Hrishikesh, you are no stranger with singing with some great stalwarts. You have gone on tours with Shreya Ghoshal. But this is a very wonderful bunch of singers you are going to be performing with. There's Vibhavari, there's Anvesha, Smita Adhikari, yourself, Rajesh Panwar. Talk to me about rehearsals. Have you been rehearsing on your own? Have you been practicing? Like they say, practice makes perfect. You still have time till the 4th of August. I know it's very difficult rehearsing with a full orchestra of 40, 50 people right from day one. But I'm sure eventually the last few rehearsals will be there. But talk to me about your process leading up to this. And if you can sing me a little bit of a chorus of any Naushad Sahab song or Madan Mohanji's song that you're going to be singing, we'll be very happy.
Sure. Yeah, it was very first interesting session which I was fortunate to have with Uttam Singh sir, where myself and Vibhavari we were together, where we just had a chat with sir, and he tried to just get us singing a little bit, some songs. To decide the scales of the songs are also very crucial. It's a very crucial part of any show, so as to be what you can sing in your comfortable zone. So that was our like first session. Then we had another session where we all listened to the original songs, which are going to be there in this concert. So we sat together with Sir and listened to these songs, got a hang of that concert again. And like you said very rightly, that the final two rehearsals are going to be with the entire team, which will be really pure musical fun, I would say, because to get to sing these songs with such a beautiful accompany is going to be a treat for all of us singers. Vibhavari is a very good friend of mine. We come together since many years, so that way it's also a very nice thing to be on stage together. Also, I know Anvesha very well. We have sung for some recordings together. She's also composing nowadays, so that is also a nice and interesting thing. And definitely, like you said, would like to sing a couple of lines of
Please do.
Madanji's song. One Madanji's song which I'm going to sing in this concert. दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन बैठे रहे तसव्वुरे जाना किए हुए दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
There you have it. NCPA HSBC Bandish, Day 3, 4th of August, 6:30 p.m. Jamshed Baba Theatre. This is the legend who has arranged over 15,000 songs over 6 decades. He's played violin for Madan Mohan Sahab. He has been with Naushad Sahab for 35 years. Himself a music composer, music director of so much gravitas, Uttam Singh ji. And joining him on stage is Hrishikesh, who you have just met. Please get your tickets at Book My Show, as well as at the venue if you're passing by the National Centre of the Performing Arts. And we really thank our partners, HSBC. Thank you, Uttam ji. Thank you very much, Hrishikesh. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Hrishikesh.
Thanks.
94.3 Radio 1.